For example, if you have any calamity, any natural disaster anywhere, then your entire infrastructure is disrupted, and it will take at least a few weeks for the rescue team to reach over there by the conventional methods. However, if you use drones, then you are able to reach that place in no time. So the place is accessible to us. The second important point is that in case of drones, they reduce the risk to life, because since they are unmanned, they can cross the border, they can go to areas where you have mines, they can go to places where you have the CBRN threats. So where there is a risk to human life, the drones can go very conveniently and safeguard our soldiers. And the other important area is like target acquisition. Now all of you are very familiar that there are a lot of AI/ML algorithms which are coming up. So these algorithms, they help in detection, recognition, as well as identification of the object. So with this technology in hand, and then once you couple a drone with that, then you are able to acquire your target very easily, and that helps the army to take the right decisions. And I have also, in the past, I have worked I was instrumental in setting up the National Command, Control and Communication Intelligence Network for the Indian Navy. And with such net-centric networks, if you also integrate the data streaming from the drones, then you can actually have a very good situational awareness picture, which will further enhance our security. So when you see all these advantages, hence we can very confidently say that yes, drones is the future and they are the force multipliers for our country. Now to give a few examples of these kind of unmanned systems, if you see the swarm of UAVs, if you see the swarm technology, then in a particular swarm, in a military swarm I'm not referring to the displays and all which happen. In a military swarm, we have very clear-cut roles and responsibilities for every bird in the swarm. They are working, they fly together, they are working together, and they are kind of having very clear roles and responsibilities. So one will do the surveillance, one will do the object identification, one will do the attack. So, and also in the process, if something gets damaged, they are able to pass on their responsibilities to each other. So swarming technology is an example of a force multiplier in case of UAVs. Now coming to the other definition of force multiplier, what I told you, wherein you can have a combination of solutions. So if you take the example of the Indian Coast Guard, then in their search and rescue operation near the borders, near the coastline, the drone can be sent first to identify what are the coordinates of the area in the sea where help is required, and subsequently an unmanned surface vessel can be sent over there to rescue the person. So therefore, with a combination of UAVs and USVs, we are able to achieve the desired result. Another important example is mine countermeasure. Now, for example, we have made the remotely operated vehicle which can be lowered from a mothership, and it goes in the water and it is able to identify the mines. Now, these mines are a threat for our warships or any other large cargo ships, merchant ships, navy ships, frigates, whatever it is. So once these mines are there and the ship goes, obviously it is a threat for that. So nowadays the technology used is that you move the remotely operated vehicle in front of the hull of the ship. It will do surveillance before the ship passes over the mines. So with this approach also, a lot of damage can be avoided and it will secure the ships. So these are again force multipliers. And then you have the kamikaze operation for the loitering munitions, wherein a UAV which is integrated with a little bit of warhead is able to do a large collateral damage. And if you put a more lethal warhead inside it, the damage can be increased many-fold. So the same UAV can be multiplied, its effect can be multiplied by putting a larger ammunition inside it. And then the last but not the least example is manned-unmanned teaming. in case of force multiplication. When we say that we can say that our UAVs are continuously carrying out the ISR operation at the borders. And once this data is continuously being streamed back to the ground control station, it enables our forces to make very precise decisions, to plan very precise attacks, and therefore achieve the objective which is desired. So this manned-unmanned teaming is also very, very helpful and is a force multiplier for our country. I think with this I will close my discussion. Thank you.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, TPCGSI, for organizing this. I'm Aditya Vadokar. I represent Fliegen Systems Private Limited. So we're a drone manufacturing and a drone services company based out of Pune. So drones used for ISR activities, that's something that we've been doing for the last 2 years. There are very unique use cases. I'll just give you a brief of it. In the civil space, we have a little bit of experience doing surveillance and monitoring. So one use case is pipelines which have hydrocarbons. They are subjected to a lot of theft. So we've been working with one of the customers, which is a PSU, has the largest oil and gas pipeline network. So we've implemented and done this first of its kind work order wherein we flew, per flight we were doing 120 kilometers of live monitoring, and we were providing them with real-time video. So the advantage of this was these pipelines are through forest regions, and then there is a river in the middle, and in the forest areas there are these notorious people which are doing threat to the government property. So we were the first responders. We used to send our drones, give the live video. This was one of the use cases that we've done. Similarly, in the civil space, for intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, we can even consider forestries department, the Department of Fisheries. These departments require surveillance for gathering information to see whether someone's in distress, whether some illicit activity is going on. Definitely for defense, ma'am explained in a very broad manner. Defense has a lot of requirements for surveillance, but there's another large chunk in the civil space wherein, be it police forces, be it national disaster forces, these are also requiring surveillance, intelligence. So there are various ways of monitoring. One other use case I would like to tell you is, doing a surveillance and a survey of air quality. You can use air quality sensors on top of a drone, and the drone will be doing a proper survey of an area. And you can continue to do this survey. So the difference between survey and surveillance is survey is done once, and surveillance is repeated again and again. And repeating it and monitoring something out of it will give you surveillance of your air quality also. So this is something that we've worked on. And there are various data and data packets which can be picked out using drones. As ma'am rightly mentioned, where a man cannot go, drones can be sent over there. So we've been working on these solutions. Right, Mohammed, you can.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. Basically, ISR and the drones that we are discussing right now, and a lot of points have been already mentioned about ISR for drones. Particularly, I'll say a few things. So let's say we are into inspection and AI on edge drones, where drones have the capability on board to process the data. And this is what is required in intelligence gathering and surveillance as well. So you need to take decisions on the go. And these are critical things because if you rely on a backend system, so you'll send the data and the response will come from the base station, and then action will be taken. It's going to create a lot of delay, and it's not going to happen. The mission is going to delay. In most of the cases, you won't be able to hit the target. So when we talk about technological aspect, when we talk about ISR, there is a technical requirement of a aircraft or the drone need to fulfill in terms of capability. Like I mentioned, on-edge computation capability is one of the requirement. So it's not only the drone, it's also about how you are equipping it. What is a payload? The payload, generally people, I'm mentioning this for the students, generally understand that it is carrying something for delivery or for some spraying, which is very famous use case. But beyond this, the payload is particularly sensors and cameras, and some cases your intelligent processing units can be a payload where you wanted to particularly process something, and the amount of data processing is so large that you need an onboard computer for it, which requires power to be feeded live on a continuous basis on a volume. So you have a power system for it dedicatedly. So this combination can also be considered as a